Good Monday morning, October 12th, 2020. Pastor Ron Jetter, Immanuel Lutheran Church, Grandview, Washington. Change of season means change of wardrobe. Long sleeve shirts. Pack away those t-shirts and summer shorts and put them in the container, slide it under the bed, and put the sweaters and the long sleeve shirts in the part of the closet where I can get to them easy, the long pants. Yeah, may have to light the fireplaces. Of course, they're all gas, but they do have to be ignited at the beginning of the season. I'm sure you're doing the same thing right now. And of course, there's always then work to do outside. Leaves will start falling in abundance soon, and will have to be raked up. The berries will all need trimming, and I want to transplant some of my berries, so I'm waiting for it to get cold enough for the sap to run down so that then I can transplant them. But that means I have to clear out the area where I'm going to put them in my garden, which still has lettuce that has gone to seed, and I've let it go ahead and flower and seed so that I can collect those seeds. We had wonderful lettuce, green leaf, romaine, red leaf. It just kept coming. And so next year, having learned a little bit about how to do that and knowing that lettuce is one of the things that we really, really like and will use, I can buy peas, I can buy beans, and we'll get volunteer peas and beans anyway. But I think I'm going to put more lettuce. The broccoli, I didn't have much success with it. Never put out the crown. Lots and lots of leaves, but no crown. So I think I'll just stagger the garden next year and plant a little bit of lettuce every week or so, a little bit, and just keep a row of lettuce going and see how that goes. So planning for next year already this year when I do the cleanup. But of course, there's still plenty to do with church stuff too, keeping in touch with people, and a reminder tomorrow, if you're available, 10 a.m. I'll send out a link. It'll be the same link as our Sunday worship Zoom, but I'm going to try a sample worship from the church. I want to do it on a day when, if it fails, it really doesn't hurt anything, but I want to see if we can succeed in getting through. So I'll do my Tuesday message from the church along with that Zoom meeting then. So that'll be 10 a.m. again tomorrow at the church. Let's go back into the book of Exodus. We're in chapter 2. We just barely started this story. We heard how the Hebrew baby boys were being killed under the orders of Pharaoh, and one boy was hidden, one baby, until he was 3 months old, and they could no longer hide him at that point. They start getting a little noisy, start growing. Next thing you know, they become mobile. So the mom or the dad took a basket, a woven basket out of papyrus leaves, put pitch and tar in there, and then put it in the reeds in the river. So it wasn't meant to float on the river. It was simply meant to be sealed enough so it could sit on the reeds and not sink quickly. And then the baby's older sister, has to be an older sister, right? Was watching from a distance. Now, verse 5, new material. The daughter of Pharaoh came down to bathe at the river while her attendants walked beside the river. She saw the basket among the reeds and sent her maid to bring it. When she opened it, she saw the child. He was crying, and she took pity on him. This must be one of the Hebrews' children, she said. Then his sister said to Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and get you a nurse from the Hebrew women to nurse the child for you?" Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Yes." So the girl went and called the child's mother. Well, isn't that also her mother? So here's this girl watching, and is the Pharaoh's daughter not realizing this is a Hebrew girl watching to see what's happening with this baby? And now the girl's saying, "Oh, I bet I could find the mother of that child." And the Hebrew woman can nurse this child. Pharaoh's daughter said, "Yes." So the girl went and called the child's mother. Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this child and nurse it for me, and I will give you wages." So the woman took the child, her child, and nursed it. When the child grew up, she brought him to Pharaoh's daughter, and she took him as her son. She named him Moses, or in the Hebrew Moshe, because she said, "I drew him out of the water." curious stuff. I mean, if you're going to write a story, this is just full of full of holes, frankly, odd little details. So here's the girl who's not at all suspect, just happens to say, I can find a woman to nurse this child for you, and it can be as though it's your child. So why does Pharaoh's daughter not have a child of her own? Is she not yet married? We don't know. But then here's this 3-month-old baby, and the mother now being paid by Pharaoh's daughter. So are other people jealous? Well, how come she gets to keep her baby and our babies are taken away and drowned? And she seems to get, it would create jealousy. And second of all, here's the Pharaoh's people, the Egyptians, who have been ordered to spy on and take any Hebrew boy babies. And were they told, except that one's under the protection of Pharaoh's daughter. It's being raised for Pharaoh's daughter. And did Pharaoh not know about this? Is he not aware of what his daughter is doing right under his nose? Fathers, you need to know what your daughters are doing. Reminds me, there's this song, a wonderful song. Can't remember who did it now, but it was the song that I chose for my wedding dance with my daughter. Fathers, be kind to your daughters. It's called Daughters, and you're probably familiar with it. A wonderful, wonderful song, and it really speaks to this. There's Pharaoh does not know his daughter, does not know her mind, does not know her life, does not know what's going on. The child grew up. So between verse 9 and verse 11, the child went from 3 months to what? 6 years, 10 years, 14? What is grew up? In Hebrew society, that would be probably 13. So 12, 13 years old. Now the child's being presented to Pharaoh's daughter. She took him as her son. Well, that means Pharaoh, oh, by the way, Dad, here's your new grandson. Really? Do I need a new grandson? Where did he come from? Did the Hebrews look like the Egyptians? Ethnically, Egyptians are African, North African. Ethnically, the Israelites, Hebrews, Jews are Arabic. Middle Eastern. So there's going to be some difference in their appearance, in their DNA, as there is today. And these are people who are used to knowing that there's a difference between Hebrews and Egyptians. Pharaoh, after all, is the one who says, we need to watch out. These Hebrews are dangerous. And here's one in his house, and he doesn't know. So this is, yeah. And then the story goes very, very quickly from there. All the movies and children's stories from this, they take this period of Moses growing up with Pharaoh's son and these two brothers, and it's just, it makes a great movie. Unfortunately, it's not in the actual story, not in Scripture. So, verse 10, the child has grown up. And now, the day after he's grown up, verse 11, one day after Moses had grown up, he went out to his people and saw their forced labor. Not one day after he had grown up, like the day after his birthday, but one day. And actually, it must have been many years later. If he's 13, imagine now he's 18. Some years have gone by. He went out to his people and saw their forced labor. He saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, one of his kinfolk. He looked this way and that, and seeing no one, he killed the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. When he went out the next day, he saw two Hebrews fighting, and he said to the one who was in the wrong, why do you strike your fellow Hebrew? He answered, who made you a ruler and a judge? Do you mean to kill me as you killed the Egyptian? Then Moses was afraid and thought, surely the thing is known. When Pharaoh heard of it, he sought to kill Moses. Okay, so the Hebrews saw Moses killing the unjust Egyptian overseer. And now the Hebrews are jealous of Moses. And where did these two, it says two Hebrews fighting. And then it says, Moses asked one a question. He answered, which means, okay, this is a male Hebrew. So this is a male Hebrew who must be older because the boys of a certain age, There was a missing age. They had been killed. They had been drowned. So these must be older, two of them fighting with each other. And they had witnessed Moses killing their overseer. And then one says, so you think you can treat us like you treated him? They don't get that Moses was doing it out of protection for them. But Moses is not a nice person. He killed in anger. And remember, clear back in Genesis, killing in anger was the first sin. Jealousy, rage, anger, Cain and Abel. It's not okay. And he's going to be under God's judgment. And Moses was afraid and thought, surely the thing is known. Well, it is known. But then, verse 15, Pharaoh knows it. So from verse 10, Moses grew up, moved into Pharaoh's house. By verse 15, only 5 verses. My goodness, the story is moving awful quickly here. He's already grown up, killed someone, been witness doing it, and then it had to be these 2 Hebrews who spread the news, and the news got back to Pharaoh, and Pharaoh now is not happy with her daughter's adopted son. And he says, that's it. Moses is going to die. He must have known all along Moses was a Hebrew and must have indulged his daughter. Now Moses has a death sentence on him. Oh, now the story's going to get fun again.